Welcome to the kitchen at the Stanley A. Milner Library. I'm Edmonton blogger Linda Huang, and I'm thrilled to help the EPL show off this amazing new space. So the revitalization of the Stanley A. Milner Library has been going strong for a few years now, and I'm just curious, how did you come up with the idea to do a kitchen inside of a library? Because that's a pretty unique concept.
A kitchen inside a library is unique, and Edmonton Public Library is known for its innovation and doing things first. And we responded to community consultation when it was mentioned many times in 2015 that customers wanted a space where they could create culinary opportunities, learn food literacy. And we have a highly active foodie community, and this will be a great way to connect with that community with volunteers. It really responds to our strategic directions in terms of EPL being the best place to learn and the best place to create. So we're fulfilling a number of needs that have been identified, and again, being that innovative, customer-oriented organization.
I love how open and inviting the kitchen is, and I'm wondering if you can tell me more about the space.
The EPL kitchen was designed the way we design all the services at the Edmonton Public Library, for learning, for experimentation, for curiosity. So this space, 2,100 square feet, located on the second floor of the Stanley Milner Library. It's a beautiful location. So people will be able to come take a class with the Edmonton Public Library, learn about baking, maybe improve their knife skills, but then they'll also be able to take classes from partner organizations as well, all for giving Edmontonians opportunities to learn more about food and nutrition.
What type of activities can take place in the kitchen?
But we also saw that there was need and interest in the community for community space. So thinking about, for example, cultural groups that are looking for a space that they can borrow, they can rent, they can come to develop community over food so that they can share food practices as well. That's why this space has been designed to have soft seating, places to socialize, as well as communal tables where people can sit and eat together. I love that we've designed this space for multiple uses, for multiple audiences, but also with flexibility in mind. So the power is in the ceiling, the tables are on wheels, there's only a couple points that are fixed. So we can really adjust how this space is used based on the interest and the need of the people that are using it.
So one of my favorite parts about this space is that you've really set it up in a way where you don't have to be a cooking expert or a pro, and it's sort of welcoming all levels. So I love that. Can you share what your favorite part about the kitchen is?
So my favorite part is exactly the same part as yours. The kitchen was designed with the objective to be kind of a hybrid space between a commercial kitchen, an industrial kitchen, and a home kitchen. So you have state-of-the-art exhaust, ventilation, makeup air system. We have baking ovens, commercial, 6 of them, 8 really heavy-duty stovetop induction ovens. So those are the commercial aspects of the kitchen. We're able to accommodate 36 participants in our classes. Each one of these stainless steel tables is a working station, fully equipped, and they're furnished with equipment that you would recognize from home. We would like our customers to come in and not be intimidated with tools that they're cooking with.
So I've noticed you've got quite an impressive spice rack area, as well as a lot of products that are looking like they're from local producers, local retailers. Can you talk about that?
Our spice rack, or the shelf, is a reflection of our community-led philosophy. So, for example, if you were interested in how to cook with rose harissa, ask us. We have community experts, we have chefs, we'll answer your questions. Not only that, we'll make a whole lesson around those questions, and you can register for classes.
Can you talk about the different classes that people can take here? Are they virtual? Are they in person? Cost? And who's teaching it?
So when we're opening this space in the downtown library, we know there'll be live classes here. So people will come in, there'll be an instructor available to them, they'll take a class. But we know we'll also be able to do online classes as well. So from this space, be able to teach classes that people could take virtually at their home. And then maybe there's some hybrid model that would work with that as well. Like the rest of the services that we make available at the library, our goal is to make them as accessible as possible. So we hope to have a combination of courses and classes that are free, as well as low cost. And then sometimes when partner organizations are providing a class with EPL, there might be a cost associated.
You're set up to make a lot of great food here. Is the kitchen a place where people can come and grab some food like a restaurant?
While there is space for people to eat together, the primary purpose is not to serve food. So we're not trying to compete with any of the great restaurants that are all already available in Edmonton and downtown. We just want to make access to the resources that people would need to start learning about food, learning about nutrition more readily accessible.
Where can people find more information about this new space?
There's great information about the kitchen at EPL's website, www.epl.ca/thekitchen. You can also send an email to thekitchen@epl.ca. So there'll be great opportunities for people to reach out to us. We've been reaching out to partners. We hope to work with all sorts of different organizations as we start to animate, curate, create classes in this space, create opportunities in this space, but we're happy for people to reach out to us as well. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Can they hear us? Yeah. Hopefully we'll see some good questions.
Welcome to the kitchen.
I can answer the first one. Will sustainable kitchen classes continue even though the kitchen is open? Absolutely. One of the benefits of having this space here at the library is now we can offer sustainable kitchen classes either in person in the kitchen physically, or we can continue to offer them online, or we could have a hybrid of both where sometimes people will watch the class online and have some participants here as well.
So I will answer the how can local organizations get involved. Just contact the kitchen at epl.ca and we will answer all of your questions. And how many participants can the kitchen accommodate? So for now, we're limiting our classes, in-person classes, to 12 stations. We can accommodate up to 36 people in the space.
And that's 36 stations. So there might be instances where we would have more people in an actual cooking class, but also thinking that there would be classes like, we could have local bloggers or food experts come and give a talk about a topic. We could do that in this space as well. So the kitchen then, from an event perspective or a speaker perspective, could have 60 people in this space. The accessible kitchen stations, do you want to talk about the accessible kitchen station? I think it'll be hard for us to show it right now because we'd have to go move to it. And
it's actually, it usually is on this side of the kitchen, but we have moved it for an in-person lesson tomorrow to the other side. So it is to the other side and it's not in view of the camera. So it can accommodate a wheelchair, and it is fully furnished with all of the equipment that the other stations have.
There's a question about cookbooks, and absolutely the benefit of having a kitchen in the library is there's lots of resources available as well. So there's a question about cookbooks and downloading cookbooks so that you can keep learning from home about nutrition. Absolutely. EPL has over 6 million digital items that we make available for people to borrow, and there is an extensive amount of digital cookbooks available too.
How many spices are on the kitchen spice rack? Well, probably about 40, 50 types. Right now we have, when it comes to salt alone, I think there are 5 or 6 different salts. But our spice rack or spice shelf is growing, and if you have any suggestions, we'd be happy to put another spice on the shelf for you so that you can experiment with it while you're taking a lesson. Ideas for classes, again, the kitchen at epl.ca, send them our way, and we will try to accommodate your interests.
And that's, that question leads into one that was above, which is about partnerships, and I would say the same thing. Feel free to email us. I've talked to several people, Zofia has been talking to several people, so we're interested in working with partners. Many partners are how we developed the kitchen in the first place and how many of the classes that we're offering are going to be implemented. So we certainly want to work with many people to offer what we do in the space.
So about the types of kitchen classes that will be offered in the space, we are starting off with a series about healthy, affordable, and easy cooking. So that is in the works and will appear on the website in a couple of weeks for everyone to register, or in a week for everyone to register. Probably mid-April we will be launching the classes.
Can you tell us more about the types of classes that will be offered in person? So the types of classes actually are quite a wide range. Sophia talked about the first series of classes that we're offering, and that was based on input from the public. So we asked people what they would like to learn about from a cooking and a nutrition perspective, and the easy meals was the first thing that came up. But absolutely, there's a wide variety of things that we'll make available, from baking to introduction to knife skills and how to use basic appliances, to spices. A great video that Doreen Pry did about salt. So I think the variety of classes we can offer is pretty extensive. So we will be looking for input from the public on what those classes are. We've also got 2 years of classes that we implemented from the Sustainable Kitchen series, and we've been getting feedback from people that have attended those classes on what they would like to do. So we'll use that feedback to design our classes as well.
So for the question with the in-person classes, will all of the ingredients be provided? They will be provided, and the cost of the class will reflect the cost of the ingredients. So they will be sourced local if possible, and are ready for you to take the class.
Hi Celine, thanks for saying that the kitchen looks gorgeous. We think it looks gorgeous as well, and thank you for saying congrats on our opening.
Adam, yes, there will be classes focused on kids, and indeed the first one is on the 26th of March, and it is for the Spring Starts at EPL, and one of our chefs, one of the chefs that's collaborating with us, James Holhouse, is going to be facilitating a lesson on how to make banana blueberry muffins.
Sounds yummy.
So yes.
Yes, we are definitely planning baking classes. Those have been some of the most popular classes we had during the Sustainable Kitchen series. We have a wide variety of tools that we're making available that support baking. We have 5 commercial ovens. We've got lots of baking sheets. So we certainly think baking will be one of the hot classes that we have in the space.
And I personally love to tackle sourdough. So you can expect a lot of sourdough tips and tricks to come forth, and also flatbreads is a big passion of mine. So
yum.
Yeah.
That's a question good for you, Sophia, directly.
What's a food that you'd like to teach people to make? Wow. I think my passion is soup. So making soup, and especially kids. I find that it's an easy make. And once you can sneak in all the vegetables, all the spices, and introduce kids to a wide variety of flavors through the simple soup. And you can dip into different cultures. You can create amazing flavors, and and amazing textures. And I found with my own grandkids that they have responded so well. At 7, 8. 9, they're connoisseurs of food, and I think they owe it all to soup. So that's one of the things that is high on my agenda, is to get kids in the space and teach about soup making.
So there's a question about volunteers helping in the space. So it's really more that we are working with partners to deliver classes. As you can imagine, there's lots of equipment in here that requires people to have some understanding about how to use it. So really when we're talking about, I guess not volunteers necessarily, but more partners. So delivering classes through other organizations and other groups that are offering cooking and nutrition classes within the city.
My favorite part of the kitchen is right here, where all the action will take place. But also, I love the interactive tables, the workstations, and we've had a little sneak peek as to what interactions and what the space looks like when there are people in the space this past Wednesday, and it was quite amazing. So the element, the people part of the kitchen and the coming alive of the kitchen is one of my favorite things.
And I'd say one of the things I like about the design is the flexibility, is that the only fixed spaces are this center cooking area and the prep island along the wall. Everything else moves. So whether we want to have a class in a semicircle, whether we want to have more tables or less tables, whether we want to move all the tables out of the space and have it be a complete demonstration where people are watching the activity that's happening in the middle, I think that flexibility allows us to do a lot of things in the space. I don't know if we've missed any questions. I think we've got them all. Oh, how much does it cost to rent the space? We haven't figured out those details just yet. We're going to start by offering our own classes, just so we can get comfortable with how the space works, how the public interacts with it. Then we will start looking at how we make it available to other community groups to use.
And there's also a question about whether we'll be offering lessons on different cuisines. And yes, indeed we will. And most of those will be offered in partnership with local chefs that specialize in the different types of cuisines. And we have had already chefs approach us, and we're working on including them in facilitating lessons.
That's similar, Ryan's question about who will be teaching the classes. Do you want to talk to that one, Zofia?
Yes, so I will be teaching some of the classes, the ones to start with, the first series. And I do have some volunteer chefs that already have jumped on board to sort of help out. But several chefs from the community have expressed interest in providing lessons, and as time goes on, we have more and more people that are really interested and wanting to contribute to this project, to bring literacy, culinary literacy into our city.
The virtual classes are waitlisted. Will you be opening any more spaces? Yeah, this weekend it's tough. We actually have pretty large class capacity that we've made available. And as you can imagine, it's tricky for the instructor to manage. So I think the classes right now are at 60. Which is quite large. So one thing we do hope to do is, if the classes are really popular, we'll try and offer them again. But we have definitely had classes that have been up to 80 people, and especially when you think there's more than one person in the house that's attending the class as well. So we understand that it's hard when you're excited about taking a class and you go to sign up for it and it's full. So we will certainly look at offering more classes, but I think there's an ideal class size that we don't want to go too far over, because I think it just then makes the experience not great for everybody. Vegan cooking classes. You want to talk about that one?
Yes, I personally have been a vegetarian for the past 30 years and have tackled a lot of vegan cuisine, so I will be the one to facilitate some of those lessons. But we already have interest as well. One of our partners, Alexis
Hilliard,
yes, she has prepared a few videos for us, and she is a specialist in vegan cuisine, and she has also offered to facilitate some of those lessons. But if there's anyone out there who would like to share their knowledge of vegan cuisine, just contact us at thekitchen@epl.ca, and we'll go from there.
I mean, as you can see, we're pretty flexible in the types of classes we're looking to offer. How did the idea of putting a kitchen in the library come together? I can answer that one. When we started planning for the new downtown library, we did some extensive community consultation in 2014. And when we asked people what they wanted to do in the revitalized space, what kind of experiences they wanted to have, within the top 5 of the responses we got back was a commercial kitchen and cooking classes. So that was the first indication that people were really looking to learn more about food and nutrition and cooking. Then we did some pretty extensive community consultation in 2018 with community partners, with local chefs and restaurants, with other organizations that really had expertise in food and nutrition to really get an understanding of what a kitchen in the downtown library could look like. And based on that input, we designed the space. We designed the idea for what the service would be. And all along, so from 2018 until we opened, we've been working with partners to figure out how should we lay this out? What kind of classes should we offer? What kind of equipment should we have? There's also a few libraries in North America. I think there's 3 that I know of: Halifax, the Free Library of Philadelphia, and Richland in South Carolina, that have put in teaching kitchens. So we've been reaching out to them as well to understand how they've designed their services, how they operate, what the demand has been like, and all of those things together have helped inform the service plan for this space.
So we will be offering mostly introductory and intermediate classes. So basically our goal is to develop food literacy. So for people that are interested, want to create something, are not quite sure where to start, this is the place to be. More advanced cooking, I think there are other places in the city that can tackle that.
And our hope is that people will become interested in here, in cooking here, nutrition here, and then we can help point them to partners that can help them expand that knowledge. There was a question about, have we seen this in other libraries in other cities? I think I gave a couple examples of that. I think one other thing I'll say is that the space definitely, and the focus in the short term, will be on offering cooking classes as we get started, but we also want to allow community groups who are looking to share cultural food practices, develop community over food. We're hoping that they will see this as a place that they can use as well. And then the last that we're continuing to explore is individuals who are looking to start food-related businesses that might just need access to a space and the resources to help them figure out if that business is viable, just to get them started. They might not have commercial ovens. They might not have, multiple stand mixers they could access. So that's one of the other areas that we're looking to support. So maybe we'll give it another few seconds, and if there aren't, a few more seconds to see if there's any more questions. And there's been lots of questions, so thanks for everybody's interest.
Thank you very much. And hope to see you in the kitchen soon.
Oh, here's a question. Oh, that's wonderful to share, Sam. I don't know if everybody can see this, but Sam says, we recently moved from the UK. I just wanted to say how amazing EPL is. We really appreciate what you put into the community. We're high risk, so the virtual things you do in our, we're high risk, so the virtual things you do are our community. Oh, that's fantastic, Sam. Yes, we have been very deliberate and conscious about trying to make services available to everyone in multiple formats, so that access is not an issue for anyone. That's a great idea, Mary Jane. I don't know that we have recorded and played back our classes, but we could certainly do that. We've definitely developed a series of videos. So up to the launch of this space, there's been quite a lot of video content that's been made available, really, which are tips and tricks related to cooking and nutrition. But absolutely, I think that's something we could consider, is having a library or a database of classes that we've developed that people could access later.
Yeah, and a repository for all of our recipes,
yeah,
so that we could possibly do a cookbook sometime in the future as well.
Okay, this is really the last time. The last questions if you have them. Oh, here comes one. Thank you, Heather. So another great shout out from Heather. I think it's great. I think it's a great idea, and to hear EPL is on the edge of educating and helping people enhance their cooking and nutritional knowledge of Wind chill? Okay, I didn't understand the last part, but I get the sentiment. Thank you very much. All right, thank you everybody. Thank you for tuning in for our launch. Hopefully some of you have signed up to attend some of our classes later today, and we hope to see you in the kitchen.
Hope to see you in the kitchen. Thank you.